Hey, happy campers, Todd here at Great American. Today we're going over how to change out that converter system. Converters are basically battery charges. They change 120 volts into 12 volts charging for your battery system. Let's check it out now. So your average converter is going to be found near or under your breaker panel right here. In this case, right here, we are on a unit where it is located below that breaker panel. We're going to pull these 4 screws out. Have another screw right here in the middle. I forgot about. Pull that off. And that is our converter there at the bottom. Let's take a closer look. So this is our board. If you ever hear a fan running, this is it. It's cooling off that board, that charging system right there. And then above it, of course, we see our breaker panel. If we open this up, we're going to see on here power converter right there, okay? So that's going to be our breaker for that. We have water heater, AC1, power converter. So if we count it, water heater, AC1, power converter right there. Going to kill that breaker. Now we can go through the process of changing this out. We should have dead power to that system. We can check that quite easily with our meter. And one thing we can do, of course, before we do all that is check and make sure that this system is dead, right? So let's check that out. We talked about it in one of the videos, but we'll go over it again. So we'll start with 12 volts AC power. So that's alternating current. We can go ahead and go to our negative over here off to the side. We're going to go to that breaker. We're going to verify we have 110 volts coming out, or 120, I should say, 120 volts. So we have power going out to the converter, right? Now what? Now we need to check and see what our charging voltage is. So on this panel or even at your battery, you can go to DC voltage on your meter. We're going to go to our white and go to our red right here. And what do we have? 13.49. So this converter is actually good. Nothing wrong with it. We're just using it as an example. But if your system is not charging, the voltage that you're probably seeing is at 12 volts or below. Charging power is going to be 13.5 volts or above for your system. Of course, you're probably also noticing your lights are dim. Your 12 volt systems just aren't doing their job. So more than likely we have a bad converter, okay? If we have 110 voltage, but we're only showing about 12 volts, that system is probably dead. We can unplug our unit, and if that voltage is the same right here, then our converter system is definitely dead. So what's next? Next, pretty simple. Let's slide on back here. We want to kill that 110 power right here, or we can kill it at the shore power. And once we've done that, should be safe to pull this out. Pull those 2 screws down there. Slide this out. Okay, so what do we have? You're going to have your black wire, which is your power for going up to the breakers. So if we follow that, that's going to this breaker right here. So we're going to have to unscrew that off the side of that breaker, pull that wire out. We have our green wire, which is our ground, going to our bus bar right here. Then we have our white wire, which is our neutral, going to our bus bar over here. And then we have our 2 grounds going to our ground right here. And then we are going to have our black wires, which is our positive for our charging system going right here. So simply, piece for piece, undo all of these lugs off of here, undo these lugs here, trace your wires up, know where they go, pay attention to where everything goes, take a picture if you need to, and unplug that system. Now you're also, in some of these cases, going to have a little charging wizard on here. These can easily come unplugged off of here. We'll take a closer look where that goes right here. That's going to plug in right there. So once again, make sure that you have traced all your wires as you're pulling this out. Not every converter is going to look like this, but the wiring is going to be the same. You're going to have 110 coming in, and you're going to have 12 volts going out. Color code, black is going to be your positive, white is going to be your negative. Some of them may have red and black, in which case red is going to be your positive, black is going to be your negative. The other half of it is some of these may be plugged into the back of the panel. It's going to have a 110 20 amp plug on the back of it. It's plugged into the back of the panel rather than hardwired into here. It's going to be a bigger box. Those are a lot easier to change out. You're going to have a plug on one end and then two large 12 volt wires going into it. Another thing to check is all your fuses here on the side. The reverse polarity fuses, if you happen to hook your battery up wrong, this is going to blow before it screws up your converter. So check all your fuses and stuff too to make sure that everything is good, especially on the other boxes. But that's it. That's the basics of it. You have 110 going in, 12 volts going out, really easy to change out. Shouldn't have to worry about it too much. If you're slightly comfortable with electrical, go ahead and give it a shot. Main thing is unplug everything, kill the power, verify with your meter, and then plug it all back in. Once you have it back together, kick that breaker on and see if you are running, right? So got all our wires tucked back in here. All right, so we got all our wires tucked back in here. I'm going to put a couple screws back in. Okay. Now, once we kick that breaker back on, you'll probably see your fan click. It's hot. Once it warms up a little bit from charging, that's going to kick back in. We go back to our DC voltage right here, and we check. What did we check? White and red right here, or you can go your white and black right here, coming straight out of your converter. Either way, and we should see charging voltage on our system. That's it. If you don't have 110 up here on your breaker coming out, then we have a bad breaker. Okay, you also want to make sure that it's not tripped. Okay, if it's tripped, reset it, kick it back on. There's multiple things to check when it comes to this electrical to definitely condemn that converter system. But just kind of learn your electrical, get educated on this system. It's not very hard. We got plenty of videos that go over 110 systems as a whole and 12 volt systems. Take a look at them, educate yourself, like and share with your friends. Follow for more here at Great American RV. We'll bring the how-to you.